I recently came across the work of a man named Sean Evangelista at a company called 30 Seconds Out. Now, they run a website for the special operations community, like the SEALs and the Green Berets and those folks. And they have a slogan adapted from the realities of being in seriously scary combat missions. Sometimes, Sean explained to me, he and his colleagues would find themselves in a situation during a mission where, the way he put it, they knew that by the time any backup arrived, it would be nothing more than a body recovery, their bodies. The key in such moments, according to Sean, intelligent decisions, speed, aggressiveness, and before that, taking the time to step back and reassess the threat before taking decisive action. Sean sums all that up like this: it's up to us. No one is coming to help. As I speak to you today, it's September of 2020. We're 6 months into the pandemic shutdown in the world of live entertainment, and not very much has changed. In-person events are still shut down, and there's absolutely no certainty about when the doors will open again. It's putting an unprecedented stress on our industry in every way. Organizations are being pushed to the limits financially, people are being furloughed or laid off, talent is leaving the industry voluntarily or otherwise, venues are at risk of shutting down. It's a seriously scary situation on every front. I spend a lot of my time these days talking to people in the industry, people who are facing the crisis. I hear creativity, I hear resolve. I see people who love what they do, and I see people who want to make sure the live business survives and thrives. But I also hear resignation. I hear defeat. I see half measures, and I see waiting. People waiting. Even though I'm not even sure if they know what they're waiting for anymore. A vaccine, a new reopening plan from the governor, or maybe it's waiting for rescue. And this industry deserves rescue. Our government and institutions utterly failed to handle or contain this crisis, and it hits our industry harder than almost any other. In this crisis, the live entertainment business is the hardest hit and will be the last out. And if I could sign a relief bill that would become law, I would do it right this second, but I can't. This industry has been largely ignored, unlike travel and other segments hit hard, even though they haven't been hit as hard as we have. And nobody's a bigger fan than I am of the work that NEVA and others are doing, making the case for the government to provide the industry with the needed backup. But at the same time, I wouldn't count on that backup. And if that backup does come, by the time it arrives, it might be little more than a salvage operation, too late to matter to many people, organizations, and communities. And so the time has come to put aside the resignation, the defeatism, and the waiting, and take action. Take the time, as Sean from 30 Seconds Out says, to step back and reassess, and then to act intelligently, with speed and aggressiveness. Let's take an unflinching look at this. Dr. Fauci, many of the pharmaceutical CEOs and others have said that an optimistic but realistic scenario is that a vaccine makes a return to crowded venues possible by about this time in 2021. Maybe we'll do a little better than that with non-pharmaceutical interventions like masks and so forth, but our track record as a country isn't exactly confidence-inspiring as it comes to that so far. So the job for now is to create something new, something durable, and the great news is that what we build during this time could be a permanent part of our business model going forward. Something with the potential to close the gap now, but that could also has the potential to make the business of live entertainment much more stable and prosperous in the future. What I've called the supercharger to the live model. This is nothing more than a problem to solve. It's a hard one because we have to be safe and successful in an environment with a lot of major constraints, but we have to act. I believe strongly that online events can be a big part of that solution, and if you aren't already, you should be taking them seriously. We've spent the last few months, as you might know, building a platform that enables you to do that, and we're standing by 24/7 to help your streaming online events be successful in any way that we can. And I also believe that you should be very carefully and within the bounds of the law, finding ways to produce real content with real value. Remember that most Americans never stopped physically going to work after the shutdown because their work had to be done. Well, we've reached the point where the work of our industry of live entertainment and the arts has to be done. Sitting on the sidelines for 12 or 18 months or more simply isn't a viable strategy. What I'm absolutely not saying, and don't get it wrong, is that you should try to open up as normal with people packed into venues as usual. You can't, and you shouldn't. And furthermore, you've got to let that idea go. For now, it's not viable, and there's no time to waste lamenting that fact. But that doesn't mean we've got the luxury to do nothing, to just wait this out. Embrace the challenges. Take them one at a time and solve them, as so many are beginning to do. We don't have time to dither. We don't have time to feel helpless. And we don't have time to wait for rescue. It's up to us. No one is coming to help, except each other. And if we do it right, that's all we need.